Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lysha from Lysha Be Creative, and today we're going to make this spooky but cute wall sign. I absolutely love how this one turned out. It's so cute. So of course we're going to be adding a little bit of vinyl and a little bit of paint and a little bit of, anything that we think we need. But of course you guys know that everything I use will be listed and linked down in the description box down below. Definitely check that out for discount codes as well as links to all my social media. Let's go ahead and get started. So I am starting with this 12-inch round. It is a 3-pack. It comes in a 3-pack that I purchased from Hobby Lobby in my craft haul a few months ago. And so I'm going to take this outside and we're going to spray paint this with a little black dress, the ColorShot black spray paint. It is a satin paint, so flat paint would work as well. Please don't feel like you need to grab satin paint. It's just what I had on hand. So I'm going to go ahead and spray paint this, the front side and the back side. I want to have a dark base because obviously this is meant to be spooky themed. So I want to make sure that I have a great base to start with. That way I don't have to try and paint after I've applied all my vinyl and wording and other paint colors. I felt it would be easier to start with what was going to be the majority of the color of the sign versus trying to do my design and then cover up any of the exposed wood afterward. So I'm going to go ahead and spray paint the back side of this after I've already done the front side. I let it dry for about 25 minutes. I really just left it outside and honestly forgot about it and then grabbed it so that I could bring it inside and let it finish drying and then get started on applying our vinyl. All right, so now with my sign completely dry, we're gonna go ahead and add this vinyl. So this is a vinyl that I believe I picked up from a shop on Etsy. I will double check and make sure that I have that listed down in the description box for you in case you're looking to grab up this spooky but cute pattern. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure my round. So this is how I figured out that this was a 12-inch round. It was literally 12 inches from literally the middle of the top to the middle of the bottom. And so that was actually perfect because it made math really easy. I knew that I wanted 3 sections, so that meant that each of the 3 sections was going to be about 4 inches tall from the center, that meaning. So I then just took my measuring tape and I just measured downward from the top and upward from the bottom, the markings that I needed at the 4-inch mark. And then I'm going to take some painter's tape and I'm going to put that painter's tape right under that line that I made with my pencil. And so this is going to help me determine where exactly I'm going to be putting my vinyl, because I'm going to have a vinyl on the top and the bottom portion, and then the center area will be where we put our spooky themed decal. And so we're putting the tape above the line or below the line depending on what section we're working with, just because we want to make sure that we are still getting that 4-inch section of vinyl in each area. So I'm going to go ahead and take my vinyl and I'm just going to literally cut it right in half, and we're going to use pretty much the majority of this vinyl. I probably could have saved a little bit of the vinyl if I really wanted to, but I kind of just decided to go with it. I actually have a second piece of 12 by 12 vinyl of this same pattern, so I was okay with with the amount of excess that I did end up discarding. So we're going to start with the top half and we're literally going to apply this to the round here just like I would on a tumbler. So I'm going to peel back that white backing there. I'm going to fold back about a ½ inch or so just to give me enough leverage to be able to stick a small section there right above that tape line there and be able to adhere that first before we start to remove the rest of the backing. So at this point, I'm going to use my squeegee to help me do a lot of the work here because I want to make sure that I don't get any airs or any bubbles whatsoever in my vinyl. And so what I end up doing is removing the entire backing because I actually found that easier to be able to work with than having the backing on. The backing was kind of making it very difficult and stiff, and it wasn't really helping to be able to get the vinyl on straight. So I ended up just removing the backing altogether and then using the soft edge of my squeegee to push out any air and any wrinkling from the vinyl all the way up to the edge, and then using my craft knife here to cut off the excess vinyl. So once I get my vinyl removed, just kind of dragging my craft knife right where the sort of edge of the round meets the wall of this piece of wood, I just remove that excess. We're going to discard that, and then I am going to do the exact same thing with the bottom portion. I ended up flipping the entire sign away from me. I felt it was easier to lay the vinyl with me pushing forward versus trying to push the vinyl inward towards me. So that might be helpful for you if this is your first time applying vinyl to, say, a piece of wood, especially with kind of like this 1-inch built edge that's along the sides, which can make it sometimes a little bit challenging. But I'm just going to repeat the same process here and just use my squeegee tool to really help me guide that vinyl on and make sure that I don't get any air bubbles or any wrinkles as I'm trying to guide this on. I was really proud that I was able to get this on so nicely. I expected, because this is, we're trying to put a square on a circular item, I thought that it was actually going to be a little bit more difficult, and it actually was quite easy. And I think that that 1-inch wall that's built in actually made it really, really much more helpful, because I could get the corner of my squeegee in there to really just push out and make that curve nice and straight. And it just gave me enough of a crease to be able to drag my craft knife right on the inseam of that edge and be able to remove all of that excess. So as soon as I am done with removing this piece of vinyl, we'll be done applying the vinyl. I'm then just going to make sure I don't have any overlap over the tape lines in the center here, and then we'll remove the tape from the center, and we're going to get some tape reapplied to the edge of the vinyl that covers that middle section that is black, because we're going to take this outside and we're going to spray paint it. So how I'm going to spray paint this is, the first thing I'm going to do is, after I've put this layer of tape down right on top of my vinyl line here, I'm going to grab a little bit of some saran wrap or plastic wrap, and I'm going to just adhere that to that tape line that I've created there and over the edge, so I don't get any overspray onto my vinyled areas. I'll also try and tape off, to the best that I can, kind of those edges that I want to be black, because of course I do want the entire edge of the sign to be black paint. I don't want there to be any overspray on that as well. So I'm going to tape those off as well, and then we can go ahead and take this out and spray paint. So now with everything taped off, the edges are taped off as well, I am going to take this outside and we are going to spray paint this with Farmer's Daughter as well as Aromatherapy, both ColorShot spray paints, and this is going to give us sort of that purple and pink vibe ombre straight in the middle of this. So we're going to take this outside next to give this a good coat of spray paint. So I'm first going to go in with Farmer's Daughter. That is that beautiful pink, and I apologize, I do kind of walk in front of my camera multiple times, but I'm just going to do one coat of spray paint sort of towards the top portion of my sign, and then go on the other side and apply the purple, which is Aromatherapy. I'm going to repeat the process until I get the ombre I'm looking for, and just sort of a nice even blend of the pink and the purple kind of evenly. So this is why I had everything taped off so nicely, because I wanted to make sure that none of that overspray that you see on the plastic wrap got onto the middle portion or any other portion of the canvas that I don't want it to be. So while this is still wet, I'm going to remove it, just because I was a little impatient and I decided to remove it then, just so I could get that removed and none of the paint sort of leaked off when I bring this back inside. So now that everything's dried for about probably 20 to 30 minutes, I am going to remove all the rest of the tape here and just pull that off of the vinyl and the edges here. I did end up getting a little bit of overspray, as you can see, sort of on the inner portion of the, the 1-inch built edge around the inside, and a little bit on the outer edge as well. I just must not have taped off very well. But something really interesting that happened, even though I did multiple coats of this spray paint in the middle, is that some of that black really started to like peek through, probably because it's such a dark color, but I actually really liked the vibe that it was giving, because it was giving like a really cute but spooky, like distressed look without me even trying. So I thought that was pretty cool. So we're going to apply some vinyl decals here, and I got this Trick or Treat SVG from Creative Fabrica. Again, I do have a reference code down in the description box if you are someone like me who is always going to Etsy or going to other places to look for cute SVGs for different projects. A great opportunity to get access to Creative Fabrica and all their fonts, SVGs, PNGs, anything for only $19 a month, and it is definitely worth it, especially if you're someone like me who needs like a new SVG for every project you work on. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the Trick or Treat SVG just on some black vinyl right in the center portion of this sign here, and then we're going to also grab some decals that I got from Banff Custom Creations. So I grabbed up these spooky sticker cows quite a while ago, probably last year. I'm not sure if she still carries them in her shop or on her website, but I definitely will still list her website down below, because even if you don't find these, she has some absolutely amazing and gorgeous sticker cows and vinyl. So I definitely encourage you to check out her website. So we're going to apply this moon decal from that sheet to one side, and then I'm actually going to choose to add the witch's broom, the witch on her broom to the other side as well. But because this was a little bit longer than the 4-inch section, I decided that I needed to go in with my washi tape, which was going to separate my vinyl from my paint section first before I applied that. So I'm just taking some black washi tape that I picked up in a pack from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to use this black washi tape just to kind of separate the vinyl from the paint section, and just kind of like what we would do right when we're working on a tumbler. It just kind of makes it really aesthetically pleasing and really just sort of separates your sections and kind of gives them more of that pop, and just kind of makes the kind of presentation and how the design comes together look that much better. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply this washi tape directly to that separation of vinyl from paint. And then we're going to go back and I'm going to apply that cute little witch on her broomstick onto the other side of this Trick or Treat SVG. And that was kind of it. So you totally could cover this in resin if you wanted to, and then obviously add something super cute on the other side to hang it. I'm going to leave this as is because this will be something that lives inside of my craft space for now, as we still have not gotten any other Halloween decorations up. But the last thing that I did to kind of just pull this all together was I just grabbed some black acrylic paint just to touch up some of those sections that I had gotten some overspray in, and just to kind of keep the aesthetic of the black round edge all the way around the edge of this sign. But after you're done kind of doing the touch up, then really this sign is ready to go. Again, you totally could add, you know, some UV resin or some epoxy over top, especially because this has that built-in edge. You definitely could pour some epoxy in here to make it a more permanent sign. I'm fine with how it is just as is. And I hope this inspires you to create something super quick, super simple, and spooky but cute just in time for spooky season. I'm really thrilled with how this came out, and I really hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial. Don't forget that if you loved today's video, before you go, give this video a huge thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Well, that's it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!